It's 365 Hawaii.
With Eric and Julie Zemelis, and as you can see behind us, we are at the Ocean Technology Park here in I'd say North Kona.
Yep.
And we are exploring the Natural Energy Lab today with the aquatic creatures that you love to eat here in Hawaii. We're going to do Kanpachi, we're going to do shrimp and abalone, and we're going to be doing it with a collab with Chef Junior Ulep, who you guys are going to get a chance to meet. And we're going to take it from the farm to the table at his restaurant, Meridia. And we're going to show you guys some really cool things today. So let's go swim on over to the Kanpachi. As promised, I'm introducing you to Chef Junior here, and he is the chef at Meridia. And I've actually had quite a few opportunities to eat at Meridia, and this man is a genius. He has his own show on the cutting board.
Yes.
And we're asking Chef, what are we doing today?
Well, we're doing a bunch of things. We're gonna hit a few farms here on the Big Island at the Oceanic Technology. We have the Abalone Farm that we're gonna go visit. And we also have the Kanpachi Farm and also a shrimp farm. And there's so many farms here that, you know, people need to know this place. You know, we can get fresh abalone, fresh Kanpachi, fresh shrimp. You know, I'm happy. I'm happy already.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's from the table. This is fresh. It can get.
Yeah, this is the face of somebody who knows how to eat it well. That's why.
Yeah, I can show it right here. You know,
I prepare it.
But,
so that's the other thing too. So what we're going to do is you're going to show us around all the different places that we can get some seafood.
Yes.
And then we're going to take it back to the kitchen.
Yes.
And watch you cook it.
Of course, and of course, eat it as well.
Yes.
So
yes.
stay tuned.
Right. And so when you get a chance to come out here, some of these farms actually have tours that you can take, right?
Yes. Yes, especially here on the Abalone Farm. They also have a barbecue area too where you can taste the product itself. I mean, how fresh can that be?
Right,
you know?
right,
and
right,
also the
taste.
Kanpachi Farm and all the other vendors that we have here, you know, and it's just mesmerizing and you know, Big Island sustainability. And we know where our fresh product is coming from.
So not only are you hitting the farmer's market getting the produce, then you find places like this to bring the protein in.
Yes, and there's always a story to all the products and all the dishes that we make, you know, and people love that. You know, they know exactly where the food is coming from, and they want to visit, they want to tell their friends, and we want to share this with the world, basically.
Right, right.
Yeah.
So you guys, we're going to show you guys, first of all, what's it like to actually look at and grow and maybe hold an abalone.
You will hold it, definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's go. It's like a snail, and it is.
Very much so. Yeah, this is a 10-year abalone. This is one of our brood stocks right here. These are the baby makers. And we have 130 of them. The last time we got brood stock was from Japan, Hokkaido, in 2011. Ever since then, we've been making our new generations here.
Okay, so you just pulled these out of the tanks. They're based on how old they are. So tell us what size these are and how old they are.
All right, in abalone terminology, this is actually a baby, a teenager, and almost an adult. At 3 years, they reach adulthood. This one is about 2.5 years old. This one is a little over 1 year, and this one here is about 3 months.
Okay, so you guys usually see these, you know, back in the 80s or 70s, they were ashtrays. I bet you had no idea that these are actually 10-year-old abalones. So tell us about a little bit, what your suggestion, what was your question for him?
Carlos, these are the baby ones.
Yes.
And the shells, do they look for other shells, or they grow with the shells within? So,
all right, so what they do, they metabolize calcium. They grab it from the water and they grow with the shell. So the bigger the shell grows, the bigger they get. There are two parts to them. They're called gastropods because gastro means stomach. That's lined up against the shell. And pod is the food, this big suction cup. It is united by an adductor muscle to the center. So that's how they swivel around. It's very strong, but the shell grows with them. So,
wow.
Yeah,
Amazing.
So that's how they do it, right?
It's a little guy. He's eating the seaweed. There's a story here on this seaweed. It's not from Hawaii. Where's it from?
It comes from Oregon. Oregon, they brought about 3 times this much in 2001. Ever since then, we have not been back for more. This is called dulse. D as in diamond, U-L-S-E, pronounced dulse. And the abalones loved it. They are the ones that picked it as their own food. We use 1,500 pounds of this seaweed a day. The abalones eat a lot of seaweed. And you wouldn't think so, but they do. They eat more than a dog, about 10% their own weight every day. So imagine that.
Okay, so if you are unfamiliar with the Natural Energy Lab aspect of life here, what they have done is pulling ocean water to help these businesses in this business park. Can you explain a little bit more about what that whole thing looks like and what's the history on it?
Absolutely. So how it all got started, it was actually the government. The government had a project called OTEC, that's Ocean Thermal Energy Conversion. And what they did, they put a pipe down to the 3,000 foot depth where the water is 36 degrees. They were pumping that water out for the only purpose of producing electricity in a more viable manner. That was actually a cycle of ammonia in a tubing system under pressure. Ammonia has a very low boiling point, and on one side of the cycle, they exposed it to the temperature of the surface ocean water. That was enough to boil the ammonia, so that would evaporate, come up as it creates pressure, turn a turbine at the top. Then the cycle goes to the other side, the vapor keeps going, but then it is exposed to the cold deep sea water, which then turns it back into a liquid. So the whole cycle is complete, the whole loop just goes like that, and that's how it produces energy. Now, that concept is still here, but some companies saw that they had this water going right back into the sea, so they said, that water is super clean, rich in nutrients, and it's awesome, so we can do something with it. It's very cold. And the first business, I believe it was the lobsters that came here, and they produced cold water lobster. They put a hatchery, they were successful, and they're still in business. And then came us and many other businesses. There's about 50 of us using now that water straight from the deep sea, and there's 3 pipes instead of 1. So yeah, this is a huge area that's growing.
Yeah, and you know what, the best part about this is the ocean water is free. So it's a nice little, like, the water itself is free, but the energy costs money.
Right.
So does everybody basically pay into the energy cost of pulling it out
exactly.
of the ocean?
So it is a really good rate that the businesses get here, but people do pay for the cold, for the water, because it needs energy to be extracted.
Okay.
So all the businesses pay for the cold water and the surface water as well, just energy.
Yeah, welcome to America, where everybody gets a piece. Where can they actually go and eat what it is that you are producing?
All right, good question. First of all, if you just want a quick bite, you can come here. We have a food truck available, different treats made of all based on abalone. We also have a new business that's more of a grill your own, and it's not just abalone, it's also lobster, steak, chicken, shrimp, vegetables. So you order everything online on konabarbecue.com, and then you pick up the food here, and then you take it to a grill station with your own table, your own umbrella, and you have a party all on your own. We also have a sake wine and beer available too.
This keeps getting better.
And if you're not here, if you're not in Hawaii, but you know, you're thinking about abalone, go to our website, and we ship live abalone everywhere in the country. All the Hawaiian Islands, all the way to New York. Unfortunately, California is the only state that doesn't allow for live abalone to be shipped into, but everywhere else you get live abalone.
Okay, and then also that takes us back to Chef here. You can also eat it in the restaurant.
Yes, you can visit me at the Meridia Restaurant. We at the Westin Hapuna Resort. We prepare this every day, and we've got like so many selections: broiling, grilling, you know, sautéing, you know, and it's very good eating. And if you want to come and visit us, we can prepare the food for you as well.
There you are, steamed abalone.
Look at that.
Poke bowl.
Poke bowl.
Share plates. Here.
Holy smokes.
So we were going to obviously go up to the hotel and watch Chef here prepare this for us, but we jumped the gun here and get a chance to taste it right here at the Abalone Farm. Oh, and look at that. Yum, yum, yum.
Yummy. Look at that.
So this has...
That's a garlic butter abalone right there. It has a bit of panko as well. So we have this local Hawaiian made sake with Hawaiian water. This is a Junmai Dai Ginjo, and you can find it here at the Abalone Farm. It goes pairs perfectly with the abalone, so something to think about when you come to the farm as well.
Abalone.
Abalone. Wow. Wow. That is, the garlic on there, it's really, really good. Okay, it's nice as photographer that I get rewarded at the end for being the man behind the camera with the tasty morsels that I get a chance, and a little bit of sake to finish it off.
Okay, so now we are at Blue Ocean Mariculture, and it's still here at the NELHA base, and we are here with the marketing director, Sarid, and she is going to tell us a little bit more about what the history of this area is where they're growing Kanpachi, and we're obviously bringing our buddy in here because this is where he gets his fish. So tell us a little bit about what's happening here and why people need to know about it.
Yeah, so here at Blue Ocean, we are at the hatchery where we are raising Hawaiian Kanpachi from egg and then transferring them offshore to grow and harvest to put on your plate. So local kahala is the species, and we have the product that we grow is Hawaiian Kanpachi. We're going to show you some brood stock right now. Those are the moms and the dads that are pulled from the wild, and we feed them and we treat them like the thoroughbred fish that they are so that we can produce a really, really awesome product.
Yeah, and if you haven't had a chance to taste Kanpachi, it's buttery, it's yummy, it's tasty. Seeing that they're going to go from these little guys out here, and if you guys have ever taken any type of ocean boat charter experience and you've actually gotten a chance to see the fish pens, we'll show those to you afterwards, but we'll learn more about that whole experience. Okay, so the fish that are in here are the ones that are brought from the wild. Look how big they are. These are not the ones that they sell commercially. These basically are brought in specifically for breeding. And these ones, as I just heard, are 60. They can get up to 60 pounds, but even heavier than that. And they're beautiful little dudes. Okay, so right now we were with Abby, and she is the hatchery tech, and she's going to tell us a little bit about the very, very beginning of how this all happens with the little eggs. So give us a little update on what's happening with, the very beginning of this life that we have here at the Kanpachi Farm.
Yeah, so we have a bunch of brood stock adults. We have, equal amount of males and females in each tank, and depending on the group, how long they've spent time together, depends how much spawning occurs in that group. So some of the groups that we've had the longest would be groups 1, 2, and 3, right? And so 2 and 3 tend to spawn the most and produce the most eggs. Today we got a spawn from group 3, and so that was about 1,200 milliliters of eggs, which we then calculate from the volume of eggs times the density that we get per milliliter to get the approximate amount of eggs. So it was around 800,000 eggs that I collected today.
Wow.
And then when we're stocking, larval rearing in order to grow the fish into being little Kanpachi, then we leave them in there overnight. They get to their second stage of development, which is when they start to form, heads in their little vertebrae in there. And so then from there, we send them over to larval rearing, and they'll hatch out there. And we raise them for, I think they're only in there for about 30-ish days. It depends on their growth development and everything. And so every morning.
And then what happens then?
And then they go into the nursery, and they're, about 20 to 30, well, probably about 20 grams. And then they're put in the nursery, and they're raised for, another 30 days or so.
Yeah.
And then they're put out in those net pens in the ocean for about a year, which is where they get to be about football size before we harvest them.
Okay, so these fish are like 60 pounds. The ones that Chef gets are how big are they?
They're about like 15, 20 pounds, but these ones right here are similar to what bringing into the restaurant. So, the whole part of the Kanpachi we use, even the bones, the kama, we sell it as well, and of course we have the fillets and so forth and so on. But they're very good eating fish. I mean, if you love salmon, they're the cousin to the hamachi like you find at the sushi bar. So, a very high oil content, and I don't overcook it, but you know what I mean? If you overcook it, it's still moist, but it's very, very good eating, and these guys do their work, and we're very, very happy.
So we have Dick Jones, who is the CEO of this entire experience, and he's been with this for 3 years, but he's going to tell us a little bit about the history of when it got started and what was the vision and what's all the stuff. Tell us.
Sure. So the farm was the inception of a gentleman named Neil Sims. He lived here on the island for a long time. He had a vision that Hawaii could grow fish that would serve the community, that could address some of the food security concerns that we have here in Hawaii. And so he filed for his first permits in 2001. We put the first fish in the water in 2004. So the farm has been continuously running both onshore here in NELHA and offshore in our cages since 2004.
There you go. And then what is the capacity that so there's a capacity that you can run up to. What is that versus where you are at this point?
Sure. Our farm offshore has a lease, and that lease runs through the state of Hawaii. We're about 4/10 of a mile from the coastline, so we're in state waters. The lease allows us to produce up to 2,400 tons of Hawaiian Kanpachi per year. At full scale, that's where we'll be. Right now, we're about a third of that amount, but looking to grow always.
There we go. And then so at this point right now, 2023, by the time this year ends, how much fish will have gone out to the consumer?
About 800 tons.
800 tons.
So it's about 1.7 million pounds.
That's amazing. And as we learned from Abby over there, how many eggs are needed to be able to do that? That's a pretty good success rate. And then also, tell us a little bit about who consumes your fish. Is this like all over the world? Is this just Hawaii? Who uses this fish?
So right now, about half of the product that we produce stays within the Hawaiian Islands, and we're really proud of that. As we continue to grow and scale, as a percentage of our production, that will go down. But we continue to focus all of our efforts here within Hawaii. The other 50% goes to the U.S. mainland.
There you go. And people can come here and purchase fish from you for their own table, yes?
We have a walk-up facility at our processing plant here in NELHA, so you can come and buy Kanpachi along with a host of other live seafoods.
But this is Princess. She's really nice and sweet. And I think we have another fish in this tank called Tilt. It's that fish right there that's kind of at a slant. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Yeah.
Hey, beyond people who are visiting the Big Island, there are residents on this island who have lived here for many years and have never actually seen where the water comes up into NELHA or even understood the whole concept around it and why it happened and all that stuff. So one of the things that we're going to do right now is go to the expert who actually is on the board of NELHA to talk about what is going on here and how's the water come up and all the stuff. So tell us everything you know about this beautiful source of fresh water.
Sure. So the Natural Energy Laboratory Hawaii Authority, or NELHA, has been around since the mid-1970s. It was started by Lockheed Martin, who came here to basically prove a concept that if you could pump ambient temperature seawater, meaning water temperature from 8 feet down, here it comes up pretty constantly in the mid 70 degree range, and deep sea water, so from 2,800 feet down, that comes up in the 38 degree range, and use the variation in temperature to basically generate electricity. And so Lockheed Martin put 4 different pump stations around the 900 acres here in NELHA to be able to prove their concept. It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Fortunately for companies like ours, having access to a high rate of water flow is perfect for aquaculture, along with water desalination and other people that need access to seawater.
Right.
So there are 4 pump stations. Total, NELHA pumps about 100,000 gallons per minute throughout the entire park, and it goes to the 45 or 50 different companies that are here within the park.
That's awesome. And how much are you guys using?
It depends on what exercise we're doing,
Okay.
so it's never an exact amount, but we're probably one of the larger users here within the park. Biotech uses a lot to grow their microalgae.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. And wow, 50 different companies are here in this park.
Yes.
And they're all using this water.
Uh-huh.
That's amazing.
And they all grow either, micro or macro algae, shrimp, abalone, salt. Koyo does water desalination. So there's all kinds of different things that you can do with the seawater. Yeah. There's a lot of technology and innovation that is coming into play here at NELHA, especially through groups like Hatch, who is an accelerator and incubator that helps grow startup aquaculture companies. So we're really excited about being here in NELHA and where the future's taking us.
And one of the things that I was learning about by taking this tour was that this area is also creating the algae that is supposed to be being fed to cows to help save the world.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's happening right here, that people are actually looking at the whole concept of trying to figure out how they can solve some of the problems of the earth, right?
It is. It's 2 different companies are growing macroalgae, limu, that is being dried and then added to cattle feed that reduces methane production in those cattle by about 90%.
Wow, that's a lot.
So the challenge is to grow enough of it to be able to service the world. But right now, both of those companies, Symbrosia and Blue Ocean Barns, are doing amazing work and seeing great results. They're each partnering with different companies to be able to prove out that concept.
That's awesome. So you guys, so much innovation happening here, and the concept of sustainability, it's everything that this island is proud to be doing, and you guys are like basically at the forefront of doing that. So
Wow.
pretty good stuff. Okay, so get this, you guys. You might not know that you can get an entire shellfish dinner right here, and that would contain species such as
Oysters, clams, shrimp that is locally grown here down at NELHA. We offer seaweed, Dungeness crab, and lobsters from the East Coast.
That's pretty awesome, isn't it, you guys? So when you're thinking about like doing like, you know, your lobster feed or your crab experience, all you have to do is come down here. And when are you open?
We're open Monday through Friday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m.
Great, and good pricing?
Great pricing. We're really competitive, and everything is fresh, fresh, fresh. Best seafood you can get on the island.
There we go. And if you want to come all the way down here, we'll give you the address, because it's not where it's not where the Kanpachi is being raised. It's down further until Natural Energy Lab, right area.
Yep, almost to the end of the road down by NELHA.
There we go. So thanks again for today. We really appreciated it.
Of course.
You guys come and manja on the seafood. Okay, so now we have left the crab and the lobster and the Kanpachi, and now we are in the shrimp experience. And we are at Moana Technologies, which is still here in the NELHA Park. And we are here with Gio and Esther, and they are basically creating shrimp using the highest technology. So tell us exactly, how is it that you guys are being able to breed shrimp here?
So basically, Moana Technologies is a selective breeding company. It's been for almost 20 years. Our shrimp are fully domesticated. They are selectively bred for fast growth and high reproduction. In any given time, we have 250 individual families that we select from, and we do 3 breeding cycles a year. We usually ship our animals to Asia, particularly in Vietnam, Bangladesh, India, the Philippines, and Indonesia. We usually ship the post larvae, and our customers breed them. They grow them to breeder size, and then they reproduce more post larvae for the farmers to stock in their ponds.
There we go. And the one thing that why we're here is because Chef Junior actually uses some of these tiger prawns every now and then in his restaurant, right?
Yes, yeah. So it's very exclusive. That, you know, what Esther and Giovanni and the team is making here at Moana. The shrimps are very, very sweet. They grow pretty large as well. They're not prawns, they're shrimp, and they're the only people that grow tiger shrimp.
Yes.
Yeah, here on the Big Island. And again, they're only exclusive for us right now, and I'm sure in the future there'll be sidebar and so forth and so on, and we can talk about it more later, and the importance of this technology right here, and the importance of breeding and taking this time to develop this. And this farm, you'll take a look at it. It's very clean, and you know, we'll talk about more about shrimp.
Okay, one of the things that you had me look at was actually these larvae are in eggs.
An egg.
They're eggs, and they're about to patch today,
Yeah, yes.
right? And so, you know, talk about life being formed before your eyes. Here.
This one is 9-month-old.
Okay, so this is the medium-sized tank. This is the kind of shrimp that you normally see. They're about this big. So there's a whole bunch of them. Those guys. Did you see the size of those big ones? Those tiger shrimp? They're in your arm. These are a lot less scary.
1620.
They're called black tiger because of the stripes.
Right. Tiger shrimp. These are beautiful.
So we were given shrimp as a gift, and we are going to actually work with Chef on creating a food experience at the hotel, but we're also going to be able to take some home and give it a shot in our own saute experience. So yay! So we're excited to try something new and different today. Wow, that's been quite a morning and an afternoon.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, all these farms, and you know, farm to table, here it comes. You know.
Right, and we got a chance to see. If you guys saw that, remember we saw you the little eggs, and then we're holding a shrimp this big on our arms. He's going to actually prepare something like that so you guys can actually see this. So we're going to take this whole thing off the farm and onto the table.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, we invite you guys and stand by, and we'll tie this all up to farm to table. And being here at the Ocean Technology, OTEC, you know, Abalone Farm, you know, the lobster farm here, they sell, you know, oysters, clams, and also the Kanpachi is really big, and of course on the shrimp farm here. So stand by, and we're looking forward, and see me on the cutting board with Chef Junior.
That's right.
Meridia Restaurant, Westin Hapuna Resort.
Right. So let's go to the next segment.